And we are live. This throat issue is not going away. And we are. All right. Looks like audio is good. Looks like quality is good. Looks like everything is working. Controller is A-OK. Game is ready to be played. Greetings, gamer guys and gals. Welcome to the stream. The finale to my A Link to the Past Let's Play, I guess you'd call it, but it's a stream. I would like to do a separate Let's Play at some point, just to highlight some things, talk a little bit more about some things, whatever, what have you. Maybe go into some details about the game that I did not get into in this stream format. But I've had a whole lot of fun. In fact, the 2 weeks that I missed of streaming in a row were some pretty darn harsh weeks, because back a long time ago, when I first started watching streams every once in a while, and I would always watch them as videos on demand. I don't watch live streams for the most part. Sometimes I do, most time I don't. But I always thought it was kind of dumb. Like, what's the point of streaming? What's the point of it? And then I realized, once I started doing it, that it's actually kind of a lot of fun, especially if you're thoroughly enjoying the game that you're playing. There was a couple of games that I streamed for posterity's sake, just because I wanted them on my channel, that I did not have nowhere near as much fun with as I am having with this game. And reason being is because A Link to the Past is one of my all-time favorites. It's an amazing game. And it kind of stinks to some degree that this is going to be the finale, the epic end to our adventure, where the legend ends and another one will have to begin at some other time. We have literally every single upgrade, every single heart, every single possible thing we can have at this point in the game. Every bottle, we have those bottles filled to the brim. We have magic, we're ready. The only thing we're missing is the last upgrade that you actually get inside Ganon's tower. And so, without further ado, let's get into Ganon's tower, shall we? I think the layout and design of this tower is the most interesting in the game. Not necessarily that it's like got this unique design that can't be beaten by anything else, but just because I like the idea of towers and the way that this map, not game, but map is designed is so well designed, let me put it that way. And it's very confusing. The problem with this tower is that it is not very conducive to okay, that needs the Canis Mary. Folks not really understanding like what the heck is going on. If you have a hard time keeping stuff in your head, like maps per se, you are probably going to have a hard time with this game. I should say this area. All right, I need to go down a little bit. Perfect. Yeah, we could just blast it open and then get a new block, but, you know, why would we do that and waste magic? So we could do it, but we're not going to. Oops. Well, that was a little bit of a failure there. Come on. Let me pick you up. Yeah, so this tower is so, I want to say difficult. you're gonna see some rooms and some enemies and some other things of that nature that are just, they're not gonna bring joy to your mouth, to your face. Let's just put it that way. Probably one of the more annoying enemies in the entire game. The Wall Masters are here, and I'm not a big fan. I wasn't a big fan of them in Dungeon 3. I'm not a big fan of them in this dungeon. They're not everywhere, though. Even in this bottom floor, which makes up the, like, 90% of this dungeon's mass, is made up by the bottom floor. But they're still a nuisance. See, like, I just got knocked into that hand. Like an absolute nuisance. So this is probably going to take us a little bit of time. But I was prepared for that. So either way, we're going to need the fire rod for the room after this. We don't have to sit around waiting for this. Yeah, the reason why I can't stand the Wall Masters is because they make these dungeons so much more difficult than they need to be in some ways. All right, so what we have to do here yeah, we're already taking a lot of damage. What we have to do here is kind of simple. Where does this open? Okay, it opens here. So what we want to do... I wish when you killed the Wall Masters, they'd stayed away for at least a decent amount of time. That's not the case, though. I bet that door was going to only be open for like a split second. Alright, so we need to toss a bomb. Over yonder. You actually can do this without bombs. And how you do that is with the Cane of Samaria. But I kind of just wanted to use a bomb anyway. The red hard hat beetles take forever to KO. Alright, so you found the compass. The compass is totally optional. It is not necessary. In fact, last time I beat this, well, the tower. The last time I beat the tower, I didn't even find the compass. I don't even know if I found the map. Because I believe they're both totally optional. Alright, we'll take that. We'll also take that. You definitely want to grab all the keys you possibly can. And we'll open you up. I unfortunately have, like, literally zero idea where I'm going. So, I'm figuring it out now. Oh, come on. Alright, we gotta go back in here. Alright. I think we're... Yeah, I figured there was something here. We're just going... I think this is the long way. I think you're actually wanting to go through the left door on the first floor and not the right door. Going to the door that would lead up is pointless because you need to beat the entire basement of this dungeon before you can actually move onward upstairs. So I just don't even bother. There is another way to light these too with the ether medallion, but it's only a temporary light. It kind of doesn't matter though because, I mean, it's a straight shot. I didn't even need to light that, but why not, you know? Why not? And we've already taken quite a lot of damage. I do like that those guys are one-hit KOs. Alright, if I recall, what I want to do here is use the fire rod. Yep. I also want to get those guys out of our way. Oh, come on. I should have used Aether. Darn you, game. I need to be quicker. That was a little bit quicker. Perfect. Alright, so I think this is going to be a boss room. Mini boss. So let's go and find out, shall we? Oh. I do know what to do in here. It is going to be a boss room of sorts. Alright. Yeah, you kind of want to break open all these pots as much as you can because a lot of times this this game gives you... Yeah, I don't think... This game gives you useful items in the pots in these dungeons. Alright, so I think we do need to go here. And I do believe this will be a boss. Do believe it, but I'm not sure. Yes, I was right. We've already fought the Armo statues from before, but the difference now is that they are overwhelmingly a one-shot. And very easily a one-shot. Even the final form of that boss. And I don't know where to go. Do we want to go left or up? I don't think we want to... Well, I guess this was the right way to go. Ooh, you got the big key. We need that. Yeah, this dungeon has a lot, a load of chests. More chests than any other area in the game. And what's so weird about that, in my opinion, is that almost all of them give you just like base items that don't matter whatsoever. I'm not complaining per se, but it's kind of weird. All right. And we'll gladly take a fairy to revitalize our health. See, that's the reason why I didn't really care that I was taking so much damage earlier, because the reality is that you get just so much, so many avenues to heal yourself. And we've also made ourselves to the dungeon item. So the right direction was the correct path. Interesting. I always assumed that left was the correct path, so I would always go to the left. And, you know, now that I think about it, the last time I beat this dungeon and I did go to the left, I had a very serious issue finding my way to this chest. You found the red mail. This provides even better protection than the blue mail. Yeah, so we now take 1/4 of the original damage that we used to. When we had green mail. So blue mail halves your damage, and red mail halves your damage again that you take. This is awesome. One of my favorite upgrades in this entire game. I would say it's probably second to the golden sword, because I just love the offense defense that you have at this point in the game. The only problem is that you don't get to use this for very long. So I'm actually kind of really glad that I found this like straight off rip, because you can find this as like the last thing you do in the basement, which is pretty much what I did last time I played this. So this is awesome. We get to take full advantage of this item for basically the rest of this dungeon. Oh, what's very interesting, we don't have the map quite yet, but B1 that we're seeing on the very bottom screen here, that's all B1 has. The first floor, which is where we are at now, which is not really the basement, because as you can see with the Ganon tower, is that you walk up a flight of stairs to get in that actually leads you to the second story. The first floor of this tower, every single one of these squares is filled. So we have barely touched the surface of this this dungeon. Luckily for us, though, what's so cool about me finding the red mail and the boss key is I can actually skip the rest of this downstairs, which stinks in a way, because even though this tower is very tall, it has 7 floors and a singular basement, so 8 floors in total. Even though this dungeon is very tall, almost, I want to say like 90%, it's somewhere between 70 to 90%, obviously I'm just guessing here, of the entirety of this map, of this entire dungeon, is on the first floor. So technically, because I went right and found that area, we can pretty much skip out on the rest of this dungeon, at least the bottom part of the dungeon, which I'm pretty shocked about, because I definitely wasn't expecting to do that. So the only thing left down here besides like door keys that you can get that I don't even think we need, and the boss key is, I want to say, there's the red mail obviously, but I think one more mini boss is down here. It's either one more or the other 2 are upstairs. So we're going to actually find that out, because very literally, I somehow went the right way. Which kind of trivialized this a little bit, but being real with you, when you see what I do to the final boss of this game, you're going to be like, wow, he's the final boss. Alright, we're getting some magic powder. We do have to KO both of these guys, though. Can I shoot him? Yes, I can. You know what? Actually. There we go. I knew it was something to do with these blocks. I thought it was originally something to do with beating those enemies, but once I beat them, I was like, okay, well, that's obviously not it. That is not what I meant to do there. I don't think I can take these guys out with bombos. I think it has to be the silver arrows. Yeah, we kind of just brute force that. One of those moments where I wish that the mirror shield blocked the BMOS beams, but it surely does not. It's very unfortunate, really. Yeah, so actually, you know what? The map is downstairs, too. We don't need the map, though, because this is a tower, and most of the tower is pretty darn straightforward. But still, that's something to consider there, too. All right. Yeah, we're getting hit a lot. But that's A-okay. Sometimes you can just run right through that. And there we go. Now, that's something you might not have figured would be a way to get across that. You literally have to do a dash bonk in order to get there. And this is basically just a refill station kind of deal. As you can see there. It's very, very much so appreciated, because the reality is that this is a very difficult dungeon. And though, yes, I kind of did just trivialize it in a way with my going through, like, the first floor. I mean, we don't have the map. That is one thing that we can get down there, but we don't actually need to get it, so it's kind of one of those things where it's like, it's superfluous. The compass is superfluous in this map, too. Because once you have the boss key and the red mail, you can go upstairs and then just, like, defeat everything, and it doesn't really matter at all. And, of course, we're going to use the tried and true bombos strategy. We have a door key, but I don't recall there being a need for a door key in this entire upstairs area, besides the master key. Let's just be quick about this, shall we? Yeah, I spam this a lot, but if you're paying attention, if you're watching, if you enjoy this at all, you can kind of see, like, the reason why I spam it. It's just too good. It's too good to pass up, like, the power of bombos. Bombos is amazing. And we're just gonna keep spamming it. Honestly, like, why deal with these rooms? We have spikes, we have BMOS, we have enemies all around us. Like, I don't see why anybody would necessarily want to deal with these rooms normally. And now we have spikes, enemies, BMOS, and ice. And it just keeps escalating like this. I think we're gonna get some magic refill here. Alright, we're not staying in this room. Why bother? Let that hit the target. Who is this lanky, silver-looking Triforce holding dude? Alright, so now we get our second mini-boss. Now these are also bosses that you can one-hit KO with the silver arrows. But the problem that I always find is that it's too difficult to do. The reason why it's too difficult to do is because you have to line it up pretty well. Like, I know that there's some people who can do it out there, but I'm just not one of those folks. Alright, so that's second of our mini-boss enemies. Our singular bomb and heart, arrow, and magic refill. Totally pointless. And as you can see, ether kind of helps here. I wonder if it does any damage to these two. Okay, it does. I just have to time it right. Yeah, so this dungeon pretty much, or pretty well incorporates, like, every part of every dungeon before it in some way, shape, or form, and I actually really like that. We do not need rupees. Yeah, this is another one of those areas where you just want to run right past it because the floors are kind of being eaten. And then we have this room, which is always fun, to say the least. And by fun, I of course mean ridiculously annoying. Aw, come on. And it starts. Yep, we have to take these pots off. How do I want to go about doing this? Obviously, we're going to use the fire rod. Oh, come on. Yeah. That's unfortunate. There we go. Yeah, that one's always a little bit annoying to do. I had to concentrate for that because the fact of the matter is that you have a very short window. And our mirror shield doing a perfect job. Alright, so... yeah, that's... never fun. Alright, so that's not how that goes. What we want to do is we want to hit these first. And then those. Oh, so there is door keys up here. Very intriguing. So that means my extra little door key that I picked up actually could have opened that for me in such a way that I didn't need that. Okay. Perfect. Alright, so this is going to be a bit of a refill as well. That's nice. We do always love a refill. And we can move on. So this is the third and final of the mini-bosses in this area. And it is Moldorm, and he's two-shot by the Golden Sword, as long as one of your shots are a spin, that is. And what we have to do... I did not mean to go up there quite yet. Yeah, rupees for nothing. So yeah, like, we're already on floor, what is the 6th floor? Yeah, we're about to head up to the 7th floor. Not too long from now. Which means, obviously, we're going to be fighting the boss. Alright. I'm done with you. Okay. Yeah, I was absolutely done with them. Alright, we don't need bombs or really anything, so we're just gonna move on. What we could use for this boss fight, however, is the Cane of Burna. For sure.
Ho ho ho! It's great that you could come all the way here, Zeake. I'm very happy to see you again, but you'd better believe that we will not have a third meeting. Prepare to meet your doom.
Alright, so this is quite a bit more difficult fight, in a sense, because you now have to fight 3 Aghanums, and he is going to be... I mean, he is pretty darn annoying regardless. But as long as you're hitting back at least one of the orbs from these enemies towards him, he can be a pretty quick enemy. Like so. I didn't even have to use the Cane of Burna.
And to the Pyramid of Power this bat flies.
Uh-huh. Interesting. Now, we are put right here, but being honest with you, I'm going to be saving and quitting for a second here, because I would like to, well, first, save. Obviously, save. But secondly, we need to fill up on hearts. Ganon, even with red mail, does a lot of damage. So, what we're going to do, something very simple. Okay, I didn't even know if we could teleport there, but we can. We're going to fly to number 2. Use up a blue potion. Of course. I mean, we have so many rupees right now that it would be kind of absurd to say, like, this is wasting. Honestly. Like, we have nothing else to buy. There is nothing else to purchase in this game. We have literally everything. We are fully upgraded, fully kitted out with absolutely every tool that we possibly can. You know what's really funny, too, is that in last stream I said that I didn't want to do Ganon's Tower in that stream, particularly because, the stream was already almost 2 hours, but because Ganon's Tower can take up to about the exact same amount of time as both Misery Mire and Turtle Rock put together, and I wasn't lying about that. If I had beaten Ganon's Tower like 100%ed it, and gotten the map and gotten absolutely every room and did everything down in the first floor, it probably would have taken me like another 20, maybe 30 minutes, which is kind of funny because we're only 40 minutes into the stream and we're already at the very last final fight. So it's kind of a shame. It kind of is. I thought it was going to be a little bit longer than this, but then again, like, it's an older game. I love the quaintness of this. This is one of the reasons why I've beaten this game so many darn times, is because unlike games like Zelda Breath of the Wild, this game is far more easily replayable and repeatable, and it's much quicker at that. Because you can still beat Breath of the Wild in a quick manner, but if you want the Master Sword, you're beating a bunch of shrines, and you're getting the hearts. And if you want any of the 4 Divine Beasts completed and the powers that they offer you, you're also beating those. Because what's so cool about Breath of the Wild compared to this game is when you play Breath of the Wild, and I know this is a little bit of an offshoot, we're not exactly playing that game, but I will be someday. When you play Breath of the Wild, you can literally, straight off the rip, right after you complete the Great Plateau, go and beat Ganondorf. So, like, within the first hour of gameplay or less, you can go and beat Ganon. Calamity Ganon, Beast Ganon, you can beat the game immediately. Will you have everything? Absolutely not. In fact, you'll have next to nothing. I think you'll only have, 3 hearts at that point? Maybe 4, I think it is. No, I think it's just 3, because the Great Plateau just gives you rune powers, if I'm not mistaken. It's been quite a while since I beat that game, too. But usually, I've probably beaten this game like 20 times in my life. And for a while there, it was like once or twice a year, because I just love how quick and easy it is. At least for me, because I've beaten this game so many times that it's easy for me to run through. Alrighty. Yeah, so we are walking up the Pyramid of Power in the Golden Land, where the Triforce is held. And let us go.
I never imagined a boy like you could give me so much trouble. It's unbelievable that you defeated my alter ego, Ganon, the Dark Wizard, twice.
Not once, but twice.
But I will never give you the Triforce. I will destroy you and make my wish to conquer both light and dark worlds come true without delay.
So by many fans in the series, this is often considered like the most powerful iteration of Ganon. The reason being is because in my current state, where I have literally the red mail and I have 1/4 health, Ganon can still do up to 3 hearts of damage to me, which means that without any armor on, he does 9 hearts of damage per hit, which is like obscenely absurd. Like it's actually absurd. I just beat both his first and second phase, by the way, in like a literal split second. And the reason why is because even with all his wonderful power and all his great damage doing nonsense, like he just can't stand up to the power of the Cane of Burna. Being invincible on these kinds of boss fights is just, it's so much fun. And I could do it again. We're actually going to need to eat another blue potion. Now he's going on to his, what is this, 4th phase? Because he has 4 phases.
You are doing well, lad, but can you break through the secret technique of darkness? On guard!
Well, I think I can. It just requires me to have a bit of magic. Alright, so this is the part that gets very interesting. Yeah, you do not want to fall down in this fight. And do you see how much damage he is doing to me? Falling down in this fight is an annoyance beyond belief because you have to restart the fight. All right. And congratulations are in order. We have beaten the Dark Wizard of Ganon and his true form, Ganon, the wicked evil beast, the Demon King, the ruler of the Golden Land.
Welcome, Zeake. I am the essence of the Triforce. The Triforce will grant the wishes in the heart and mind of the person who touches it. If a person with a good heart touches it, it will make his good wishes come true. If an evil-hearted person touches it, it grants his evil wishes.
Oh man, I guess we need to be hiding the Triforce from this generation.
The stronger the wish, the more powerful the Triforce's expression of that wish. Ganon's wish was to conquer the world. That wish changed the Golden Land to the Dark World. Ganon was building up his power here so he could conquer the Light World and make his wish complete. But now, you have totally destroyed Ganon. His Dark World will vanish. The Triforce is waiting for a new owner. Its golden power is in your hands. Now touch it with a wish in your heart. The Return of the King, Hyrule Castle.
I wonder if this is great old King Roam. There's Zelda, the 6 maidens, The Loyal Sage Sanctuary. Sahasrarla's Homecoming, Kakariko Town. Vultures rule the desert in Desert Palace. And we see our friend there, the locksmith, or lockpick. The bully makes a friend in Mountain Tower. So those two were the folks who were transformed when we first met. Your uncle recovers your house. Yeah, those two that we saw, the bully makes a friend, were the folks we first met when we first went into the Dark World. Flippers for sale. Zora's Waterfall. There's King Zora. The Witch and Assistant Magic Shop. Twin Lumberjacks Woodsman's Hut. Cutting down more trees, folks. Maybe we'll have more hidden stuff. Flute Boy plays again. Haunted Grove. Yeah, there's a bit of a theory that the tree that they originally were cutting down that you could bonk was actually the Great Deku Tree's remains. That's the reason why there's a hidden area underneath it. Venus, Queen of Fairies. Wishing Well. The Dwarven Swordsmiths. Smithery. Getting ready to make my second sword, eh? The Bug-Catching Kid, Kakariko Town. Finally not sick anymore, apparently. And there he is, happy as can be with his mom and dad in tow. And a bee, even. The Lost Old Man, Death Mountain. There's reason to believe that all the old men in this game are descendants of the sages, but the reason why Ganon took the maidens was because they were younger, therefore their power was more potent. The Forest Thief, Lost Woods. He doesn't look too pleased with himself. I wonder why. And the Master Sword sleeps again, forever. As we are here in the wonderful credits of this most wonderful of games on the SNES, The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, one of my favorite games from a different time and a better time in mine and most people's lives when the world wasn't so insane. I just wanted to say a few things here. The reason why I made this channel, and the reason why I continue to make content even though I don't have hundreds of subscribers or thousands or views here, there, and everywhere, is because I am kind of a curmudgeon. I don't care for the way that the world is going. And when I look and try to find good gaming and good content and wholesome gaming and wholesome content, stuff that is anti-political, stuff that is more godly and less foolish, it can't really hardly be found. And I want to change that. I want a wholesome channel. I want wholesome gaming displayed wholesomely with wholesome gamers who actually give a care about the fact that just because you're playing a video game doesn't mean we should throw out all morality in life. I don't really understand that concept. Like, most gamers I know are like, oh, well, I have morals. We're playing video games. Like, what? What about all the people who spent thousands of hours in their younger days, hundreds of years ago, building things like model planes? You think that that wasn't any less vanity than this? Like, people are psychotic. And I want to help change that in some way, shape, or form. This game is awesome. It stretches back to a time that is just a bit different than us. A lot of things in this game were changed due to censorship in the West, but you can even find instances of the link from both the NES games and the SNES game kneeling down and bowing before the cross of Jesus Christ and praying to him. Because this Link is supposed to be a crusader for God. That was the whole reason why he was given a shield and a sword. And even on the previous games before this, his shield had a cross on it. Stuff like that needs to be more readily evident. Stuff like that needs to come back. People need to grasp those roots and say, look, amen. I'm grateful that we have that in our lives. We can have and enjoy video games too. They don't have to be disgusting. They don't have to be political. They don't have to be gross. They don't have to be pushing some kind of ideal and opinion and something that's anti-factual quite well, in order to get the point across that it's good gaming. This is good gaming. What part of this game shoved in your face or my face that we should think a certain way? That's what I'm talking about right there. Is we need more games nowadays, more than ever, that get away from that. I don't hardly buy or play games outside of Nintendo anymore. And the reason being is because that's all they do. Name a game, a modern game, modern shooter, modern fighter, modern anything really, that isn't Nintendo, and I can show you where it's political. I can show it to you. But all that being aside and set aside, that was our very own Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. One of the greatest games of all time, on one of the greatest game systems of all time, in a very awesome era for video gaming. I want to thank you for joining me. I want to thank you for coming along, those of you who rode this wave and those of you who are viewing this, even if you're viewing it after the fact, because I do that myself. I love watching streams after the fact, partly due to the fact that I like skipping the nonsense of sponsorships or like people doing memes or other things like that that I just don't care for, because again, like I said, I'm a curmudgeon. I'm 29 years old. I was born in 1993. This game is older than me. It was made in 1991, like produced. But I don't have the attitude of most people my age, and I thank God for it. If you like my content, please like, share, subscribe, ring the bell, come along with me as we attempt to build a greater, more wholesome community aside and separately from the foolishness and wickedness of modern media and gaming, where we can say, hey, look, we can enjoy our hobby without the disgust of the rest of the world. I appreciate all viewership. I appreciate all likes, subscribes, and all that stuff. And I just want to say, until we meet again, have a great and glorious day gaming. See you guys next time.